guys, what is happening? Mank Industries here again. Welcome back to the channel. Will you join me today? It's a bit of a milestone for me personally because I've had my BMW e46 330 Ci convertible for roughly a year now. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, what I like about the car and what I dislike about the car. Also, I'm going to go through in detail of the costs involved of running a 330 Ci for a year. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome back. As I said in the intro, I'm going to give you a rundown of the costing that it's cost me. I've had the car roughly a year now, and I'm going to give you a breakdown of all the costs it's cost me in 1 year. Now, the reason I got this car in the first place is a bit of a backstory. I used to work for somebody back in 2005, 2010, and in that time he had a whole range of cars, from Hummers to Nissan Skylines, Audi TTs, that goes on and on and on. He had a BMW M3, but the one I really liked most of all was his e46 330 Ci convertible. So I set myself a goal last year. I'm 49 this year. I set myself a goal to learn to drive and buy a BMW 330 Ci before I was the age of 50. Achieved that before. Like I said, I'm 49 shortly, so I achieved it then. So basically, I've had this car a year. I bought it, so I'm going to give you a full costings of everything I've spent on this car so far. So I've had to write it down because it's quite a long list. So without further ado, here we go. Right, so cost of the car was 1900 quid, which I could not believe when I bought this car, because when my old boss got his, I think the book on it was about 30 to 35 grand depending on options. So I paid 1900 quid for this one. So absolute bargain in my eyes. Cost of insurance. Obviously with me just passing my test, that played a big role in the cost. But also because I'm 48. Don't forget my age then. That's the age of it. Because I'm 48. It came out, I went with who's insurance people now, General Accident, and it's cost me £999 for the year, which, as far as I'm concerned, for a car like this is not too bad, to be honest with you. For a first time driver with a car of this calibre, I think it's not too bad, to be honest with you. I think it's alright, it's not too bad. So I went with that. You know what I mean? Hopefully it'll go down. It should be going down in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Tax. Obviously with this one being an older car, it's a 3 litre, it's a beast. Tax is 325 quid a year. Most people, a friend of mine, he's got a BMW, a new BMW, and I think he pays 30 quid for his. So there you go. I pay like 10 times that and more, almost 11 times. Never mind. Anyway, MOT was 50 quid. That was done end of last year, sailed through, no problems whatsoever. Then we come into basically the cosmetics I've had on the car. So the cosmetics, the first thing I had done was I had the wheels refurbed because they were really grotty and curbed and corroded. I got them done for 200 quid for all 4 corners, which I don't think was too bad for the quality. Then I had the interior wrap. Now the interior of this car when I first bought it was horrid wood. It was really horrible grand. I don't know who chose the specifications, because this car has a red leather interior with black accents. I don't know who would choose the horrendous wood interior that was put in it. So I had that wrapped in carbon fibre. I'll show you each of these in the next segment of the video of what I've had done to the car. That was £90, which I don't think was too bad actually. I thought it was really good. They did a really good job. Completely transformed the interior of this car like you would not believe, and brought it into the modern age instead of looking like something from Oh, the dark ages, it was awful. You know what I mean? Right, tyres. Tyres were £300 because when I had the MOT done, it said 2 of the tyres were okay, 2 of the tyres were coming up to the legal limit. They were the cheap Chinese type tyres, and National Auto Care had an offer on where you can pay in 3 instalments. So I decided to go for some Bridgestone Potenzas on each corner, and that was £298. But I paid that off in 3 instalments of 99 quid, so that was quite alright. I was going to go with a cheaper variety. I think it was Auto Green that came in at 200 quid, but I thought for the extra 100 quid, I thought the Bridgestone Potenzas, plus I could pay it off in 3 instalments, that was a lot better, to be honest with you. The service, that was 150 quid. I had a service done a few months back. Get that done because basically when I bought the car, the guy had only had it done serviced 3 months prior to the sale, so I thought there's no point spending money, I'll wait and then get a service done, which I have done. Badges, £23. That was the bonnet badge, the boot badge, all 4 dust caps and all 4 hubs, centre hubs. £23 for the lot, so that's not too bad. I had a rear inner boot lens because the one I had was all faded on one side, and every time I looked at the back of the car, it was really bothering me, Every time I opened the boot I could see it there, and it was like almost laughing at me. It was look at that. So I got that changed. That was £18. I got that off a guy off the BMW Owners Club, e46 Owners Club. If you've got an e46, join that on Facebook because it's an absolute wealth and encyclopedia of knowledge. You've also got people who sell reconditioned parts, new parts, second-hand parts. It's an whole plethora of stuff for e46s. So if you in for some of that, then I'd say join that. It's a really good club. That's the e46 Owners Club on Facebook. So the next thing I had done was a boot handle. Because the one of mine was grotty, it was all delaminating, those pieces coming off it, it was hot, it was awful, so I just got a new one of them. That was £30. So that's it so far, what I've spent on the car. I mean, running cost petrol wise, it's not a cheap car on petrol, because you must understand it's a 3-litre car. You can't get through that. It's a 3-litre 6-cylinder car. It's performance motor. You can't get past that. It's a 330 Ci, so it's the top model apart from the M3. So you just cannot, like, you can't get away with that. You know what I mean? If you're getting into these cars, I knew going into this car what the costings would be. But as far as I'm concerned, I didn't care. I wanted one of these cars, and I went out and bought it. So there you go. Likes and dislikes. Dislikes, I don't dislike anything about this car. I absolutely love it, because what you must understand, this is my first car I've ever owned, and I absolutely love it to death. I love driving it, I love sitting just like looking at it. All my curtains in the morning, and the rear of the car is the first thing I see, and it's just amazing. I absolutely love this car. I really do. I've not got any dislikes of it whatsoever. No dislikes at all. I absolutely love it. You know what I mean? Overall thoughts, it's been an absolute pleasure to own. It really has, because one thing I have found out is, because these e46s are so popular, especially like the 330 Ci's and the M3s and that, there's a massive like community on Facebook, and you also get people who sell parts. They break this car, because this car's like nearly coming up to 20 years old. I think it's February next year, it's 20 years old. So a lot of these cars now are going to breakers yards and that, so there's a whole plethora of parts, and I found them really cheap. You know what I mean? I mean, the bonnet badge, £3. You know what I mean? I found the vert boot badge was a tenner. The centre caps were like £4. The dust caps were like £2.99 for a set of metal ones with the cork things. It's just a really cheap car to get parts for, and I thought it was really dear. Not like a Porsche. If you go for a Porsche, you can get Porsches fairly cheap, but you're paying Porsche money for parts. So I mean, so basically, it's been an absolute pleasure to own this car. I absolutely love it. I could never see myself being without it. unless I got myself a Range Rover Sport, because I like them also. But to be honest with you, I absolutely love this car. There's nothing wrong with it at all. The only thing I really need to do is I need to get 2 new wings, because they're on the way out, but I'm going to do that next year. So there we go. That was an overall review and full costings of what it's cost me to run an E46 330 Ci for a year. And what I'll do is I'll come back in the next part and I'll show you all the things I've had done to it with the costings. Thanks guys. Alright guys, right, I'm going to take you around the car and I'm going to show you back to front exactly what I've had done to this car, what I've spent the money on. So like I said, the first thing I went and did is I got a new rear bonnet handle thing with a new badge, because it was really grotty. I had the lens fitted there, because that was basically laughing at me. Every time I looked at the car, it was all frosted and it was ruined, so I replaced that. I also had the wheels refurb in anthracite grey. Basically they need doing again, because after about 2 weeks I scuffed them really badly, so they need going. New caps, well, that was all done. Like I said, so refurb wheels. Latest thing I've had on it is I've just got these really nice double slap black grills, because they look a lot better than the grills I was on originally. New bonnet badge, because that was all grotty and ruined, so I had that done. Basically that's really it on the outside of the car. I need some new wings, because this wing's really bubbled really bad, so I need, you see there, that needs a new wing. I can get them fairly cheap. So I'll take you inside. What have I done inside the car? This is where the major changes have been. Came with an Android head unit when I already bought it, so I didn't need to upgrade that, so that was good. Like I said, the main thing I've done in it is had the interior re-wrapped. As you might have seen on my previous videos, it was horrendous wood, so just had that re-wrapped. Makes an absolutely massive, huge difference. And the car, like I said, that cost me, that was £13 off AliExpress, because the original one was all wood. Like I said, I've had it all just re-wrapped. But yeah, I mean, like I said, apart from that, it's been an absolute pleasure to own. I really have loved owning this car. It's absolutely amazing. So there you go, and I'll bring you back in a minute. Yeah guys, so that was my overall review of costings and ownership thoughts of my BMW e46 330 Ci convertible. As you can see on the costings, most of it, of that costing, has been cosmetics. So in actual fact, really, if I was really skimping and didn't want to spend any money on the cosmetics of the car, the only really things I've had done is the service. I've had the springs done, and what else? That's basically mostly it, really. So if I would have been, if the car would have been really how I wanted it from the beginning, I would have spent hardly any money on it at all. I mean, apart from the tax, the MOT and the insurance, which you've got to spend on every car anyway. But what I'm trying to say is the ownership costs, apart from the cosmetics, have been relatively low, to be honest with you. I've had, like I said, I've had the only thing that's really gone on the car, which I've had to have fixed, were the front springs. Now, like I said, they were 250 quid, so not too bad actually, you know what I mean? It's just the maintenance of the car. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? I've really enjoyed caring for the car, cleaning the car, driving the car. It's been an absolutely amazing experience, to be honest with you. For 1900 quid for a car that should like 35 grand back in the day, and it still looks, to me, one of the nicest shaped BMWs that's ever been. It's just absolutely superb. It still looks sporty, it still looks current, it still looks modern, and it's just absolutely fantastic. You put the roof down on the nice day and you just go driving around cruising, and it's like fantastic. It really is good. It's a great experience. So like I said, if you like this video, please do me a favour and like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more content. Please comment below if you see anything else that you'd like me to comment about. But yeah, that's it. Mank Industries saying this vlog is over.